because we're always here for you. If he knows that we're going to be his champions, right, that will make him feel better.
Hey buddy, done great there. Really good. Got a lot of good shots. Did well. Excellent.
We're proud of you.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
did really good, Stephen. You did excellent. It's all good, man. Told you. You're going the right direction.
Does that suggest then that he is truly, he's conscious?
That's what I would conclude, yes, and I feel quite confident about that. On the basis of a single scan and patients that I've seen this happen time to time before, I'm pretty confident that he has a level of awareness.
I think it's hard for people to imagine what it must be like to be in Stephen's situation. Is the fact that he is awake and aware, he's conscious, does that make it better for him or worse for him?
We don't know the answer to that question, and now we can start to find out. I can only imagine it would be like being buried alive. You have no way of being able to communicate with the outside world and even to indicate to people that you are awake and aware.
All right, you're in.
But there is hope. Some patients do emerge. In Putney, there is someone who knows what it's like to have an active mind trapped in a body he couldn't control. This is Stuart. As so often, it was a car accident that left him brain injured and unable to communicate. Doctors thought he might be in a vegetative state.
We were told when we saw one of the consultants when Stuart was still in intensive care that basically at about 6 months, perhaps a year, what you saw was what you were going to get. And that just didn't seem right to me. I sort of dismissed that straight away. I thought, no, we're going to fight. And thankfully, in Stuart's case, it's not always the case, and I'm aware of that. That's proved totally incorrect, and we've got him like he is today, haven't we?
You have a go.
Stuart's slowly emerging consciousness was spotted by his family and staff here. He was among the early patients sent to Cambridge, where brain scans confirmed his growing awareness.
It was really good because Stuart was still not doing very much at the time, but he said that Stuart certainly had a learning ability, and he felt that at some point he would perhaps use an electric wheelchair. It gave us some real hope and determination that, you know, there was more in there that we were going to bring out, and yeah, we have.
Now, after 4 years in Putney, Stuart is ready to go home.
It's all steam ahead, really, and we're very excited. And Stuart's counting down the days.
Bye, Stuart.
But he still remembers a time when communication was impossible.
How frustrating was it not being able to communicate?
Yeah. I, W, O, oh no, W, O, U, L. I would. S, C, R, E, A. I would scream. A, at, A, W, A, L. You would scream at a wall. Would you, dude? I didn't know that.
In Cambridge, Michael is having another session in the scanner. His first set of results were negative.
I guess one of the most important things is we're going to repeat what we did on Monday. So we're going to look again to see whether we can get any responses to command when we ask him to imagine some tasks. Will we see some brain activity? That's important because these patients all fluctuate. Some days they may respond, other days they won't respond.
Okay, headphones coming over the top now, Michael.
Hello Michael, it's Adrian again. You're doing really, really well. We want you to try and do what we asked you to do earlier in the week.
Tennis.
But from all Michael's scans, the team have not been able to detect any evidence of awareness. His parents, Barbara and John, have just been given the news.
This is like a bereavement, but it's like a bereavement that's not going to end in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Not that we want anything to happen to him.
I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. We'll still be treating him exactly the same way now as we did all the way through this 22 weeks. Although we're obviously really upset.
I think we'll all take comfort from it though.
I will do.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that you came, and I'm really glad that we managed to scan Michael. And as I've said to you already, we gave him 5 chances to show us whether he could produce some responses or not. And unfortunately, on all 5 occasions, we didn't see anything that would suggest to us that he has, he's aware of the situation he's in and where he is. So he had a good crack at it.
He did. I'm sure had he been in some position to help you, he would have done. He was that sort of guy.
Okay, we're just going to slide you down the bed just a little bit.
The journey to find a voice for these patients is long and hard. But for all the families involved in this research, it's a road they must travel, no matter what the odds.
We showed, in fact, something approaching 20% of these patients can generate these patterns of activity with their brains, but it was important for us that people keep that within proportion. It doesn't mean that all vegetative patients are conscious, but a significant minority do appear to be.
In Putney, Alex is too ill to have his awareness fully assessed. Repeat infections mean it will be another year before he's able to go to Cambridge. In Canada, Stephen's parents have brought him back for another opportunity to make contact. It's a chance to resolve their biggest question: does he know who he is?
Well, good to see you here again.
He's a bit tired.
Yeah, I bet. Good to see you, Stephen. Another go in the scanner, eh?
I just hope he doesn't fall asleep.
No.
Last time, Stephen revealed he could respond in the scanner. Now, the communication goes much further. Stephen is asked about a family member born 3 years after his accident.
I want you to imagine playing tennis only if the answer to the question is yes. The question is, does your sister, Jen, have a daughter? We're going to start the scan now.
Imagine.
He's quite still, actually. He's all right. That's pretty good. I mean, he's got this whole band of activity from his premotor cortex. A lot of posterior parietal stuff as well. Stephen, well done. That was fantastic. That was absolutely wonderful. Very, very good activity. We can see your brain lighting up when you trying to answer the question. That was absolutely great. I asked him whether his sister Jen, whether he thinks his sister Jen has a daughter or not. That was the question. And what we were really interested in doing there is finding out whether he is aware of that and can lay down new memories since his accident. Right. And he very clearly imagine playing tennis when I asked him to do that. There was absolutely no question. He was activating the top part of his brain there, which is what I told him to do to say yes.
Yeah.
There's no question he was activating the top part of his brain. So I think he does know about Kaylee. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And I think that's quite an important piece of information.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
And his sister will be delighted to hear that too, the whole family.
And even Kaylee.
Yes, and even
Right,
Kaylee,
well.
that's right.
It's another extraordinary moment. Stephen has shown he's continuing to create and store memories about his family. It suggests he is aware of himself and those around him, but the extent of his abilities remains unknown.
You did absolutely great. I don't know if you heard all that with Dr. Owen, what he was saying. He said you're a superstar. You answered the questions right. And we have to tell Kaylee that you know all about her. Okay? That's right. Fabulous.
So what will the knowledge that Stephen is able to build up memories, what will that mean for the future, the way you relate to him?
It gives us the impression that he'll be able to keep up with a book, say an audio book. He'll stop at a chapter, start at the next chapter. He'll be able to remember.
He remembers what he was told
That's pretty
previously.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important. It's a story.
So that's just good. Like it's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah.
It's, as we said before, it's a lot more.
We know then it's not just white noise that he's listening to
Yeah.
and not retaining it. He's retaining it, and then eventually too, maybe he'll tell us, I don't like that book, I want something else.
Scott is also back for another session in the scanner and will again confound the diagnosis that he is vegetative.
the question is a banana yellow?
The questions start easy, but Scott has to make complex choices. This time, if he wants to answer yes, he has to imagine walking around his house, which produces another distinct pattern of brain activity.
Imagine.
So this is almost exactly the same as it was when he was imagining moving from room to room in his house. You see, you've got a big peak there doing the imagined task, a big trough when he's relaxing, and another big peak coming when he's imagining. It tells us that he is saying that a banana is yellow because we told him to imagine moving from room to room in his house when he heard the word imagine.
Communication established, Scott can, in theory, be asked anything. Science has given him back his voice.
I just want to say congratulations. It was a great day. I think I didn't embarrass you too much. Sorry, didn't get that.
But what should you ask a man who last spoke 12 years ago?
Probably the kind of questions we'd like to ask him.
Would upset him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Why do you say that, Jim?
Because it'd be very emotional questions.
Do you ever feel that Scott might have preferred not to be here now?
You question his quality of life and wonder what he would want. Most definitely. It has crossed our mind, or crossed my mind in that, yes. But we make the best that we can for him, and we'll continue to do so.
He was such an active person, both mentally and physically. I don't know. He's not one to give up. I think if it was me, I wouldn't want to be lingering in that state.
Scott is such a clear responder, they reach for something of fundamental importance to the families and briefly lift the curtain on the hidden world of these patients.
I'm going to ask you a question about you this time, a question about you and the way that you're feeling. And I want you to try and answer this question for us. I want you to tell us whether you are in any pain. Think about your body Does any part of your body actually hurt right now? Are you in pain? If the answer to that question